Creative bestie, why you have a drawer full of half-finished journals, a pile of abandoned canvases, and let's not talk about the 100 creative ideas you actually never completed. Yep, you already know this video is for you. But before we get into it, I want to first show you what I am going to make. However, I need to get some of this paint out so it can get to drying. What I'm about to create is so simple, so easy to make. A toddler can do it. But let's first get this paint on the page so that way it can dry. We're going to cut the fan on and let this get to drying. So what are we going to create? We are going to create another art journal page from an art journal page that we may not have liked. So with that being said, I created this. This is a good art journal page. Nothing is wrong with it other than little things that, it doesn't really make or break it. There are some things that I didn't really care for, like when I stamped this, as you can see, it didn't stamp too well. And then when I tried to go over it or put a border around it, it just looks wonky. Either way it goes, I could have kept this in my art journal and it would have been fine. However, for the sake of wanting to create some content, I thought this would be a good idea to show you how, once again, you can take an art journal page and turn it into another art journal page. So what I'm going to be doing, I am going to cut this into 3 pieces and I'm going to paste it back into my art journal book. However, I want to do something creative even with me cutting it. So instead of me just cutting straight lines, I have this little doohickey. Can't tell you where I got it from because I've had it for well over a decade. But anyway, it came with these little cutters. So you got zigzag, stamp. This is wavy. And this is straight, of course. It came with fold and something else. I can't remember where I got it from, like I said, so we just gonna work with it. But I was thinking initially that I wanted to do wavy. However, because I have these like kind of jagged lines inside of the honeycomb, I am going to use the zigzag. All we have to do is open this up. Oh, well, no. First, I forgot. I need to cut this a little shorter. I want to cut it shorter so that way it can fit, I don't want it to be still bunched up like this. I want it to be, kind of spaced out a little bit. So what I'm thinking, because I have so much paint on this, I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Okay. What I am going to do, I am going to go ahead, I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to get to creating. And in the meantime, in between time, let's go ahead and get into this video. So with that being said, I need you to hear this first. You are not lazy. That is not what's happening. There's a real reason creative projects get abandoned. And once you understand it, finishing gets a whole lot easier. All right, let's talk. You don't stop because you're lazy. You stop because creating starts to feel exposed. When a project starts to take shape, the nervous system reads it as a risk. What if this isn't good enough? What if someone sees it? What if I finish it and it's bad? So the brain pumps the brake, not on purpose. It's protection. The fix isn't motivation. So you can have a whole drill team trying to cheer you on. It ain't gonna happen. The fix is safety. You have to make finishing feel safer than stopping. Most people think perfectionism stops them in the beginning. It actually does its worst damage in the middle. You start, it's going good, it's going okay, and then you make one little mark you don't like and something shifts. You say to yourself, this is not what I pictured, and instead of working through it, you walk away. You give up. The project isn't abandoned because you failed. It's abandoned because your standard got ahead of your process. This right here, what I'm about to tell you, is what nobody talks about. It's about how unfinished projects feel safer than finished ones. Yes, that is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you. A finished piece can be judged. An unfinished one is still protected, still in progress, still full of endless possibilities. So we leave things unfinished on purpose. not consciously, but emotionally. The solution is learning to separate the creating from the outcome. The page doesn't have to be good. It just has to be done. Here we go. Start a page inspired by something you saw, but halfway through, yours doesn't look like theirs. So you stop because it's not matching the picture you had in your head, the picture that was someone else's work to begin with. Your creative voice is not their creative voice. That's just what it is. When you abandon your work to chase someone else's results, you will lose every single time. The page you finish, even if it doesn't look like what you planned, it is always more valuable than the one you abandon. So let me tell you, finishing isn't just about what happens in the middle of a project. It's about what happens when you walk away and come back. Most people don't have a re-entry ritual, so they sit down in front of an abandoned page and feel the full weight of everything that went wrong the last time. A grounding ritual before you create changes this. Light a candle, touch your supplies, take a breath. Most importantly, give yourself permission to start again, not from the beginning, but from right where you are. One thing that I do when I come into my creative studio is I burn incense. The aromatherapy, it really lifts my spirit. Or I light a candle. I grab myself something to drink, be it tea, water, juice, and I put on some tunes. I like listening to classical study music, lo-fi beats, R&B, whatever is going to give me the vibe that I'm wanting at that time. So I suggest you do the same. Start a grounding ritual before you create. So here's what I want you to walk away knowing. You are not lazy. You never were. You just didn't have the language for what was happening. Now you do. And next time you sit down in front of an unfinished page and feel that pull to walk away, you'll know what it is. And you'll know you have the power to stay anyway. Listen, there ain't no creative police stopping you from creating. So create. If this lands for you, subscribe. Because every week we go deeper into what it actually takes to come back to your creativity. And drop a comment below. What's the one creative project you've been meaning to finish? Let's make this a conversation. Now go make something.